Our special guest is Karen Abercrombie, best known for her award-winning portrayal of the spicy 80-year-old prayer warrior, Miss Clara, in the Kendrick Brothers film War Room. But Karen has an impressive body of work under her belt. She has guest starred on such TV shows as Saved by the Bell, The Inspectors, Vampire Diaries, and Ally McBeal, to name a few. She has also played recurring characters on OWN's series Delilah and AMC's series Turn. And in 2018, Karen formed Earth Mother Entertainment, an independent film production company. Her first film, Discarded Things, has garnered 5 Best Actress awards for Karen's role in the film, 2 Best Picture awards, and 3 Best Supporting Actor awards. Tonight, we talk about her new film, Heaven Sent. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the beautiful Karen Abercrombie. How are you?
Oh, I am most wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now, where did your love for acting come from?
I guess it's something I always did as a child. I really enjoyed plays, had a vivid imagination, and an imaginary friend.
you,
Yeah.
I think we all have had our imaginary friends. And so, what did your imaginary friend have a name?
I was told about him or her, just very vague memories. So I don't recall a name for him or her.
Well, so many fans of yours, they remember you in your iconic role in War Room. What did that role do for your career?
Oh, it did a lot. There were so many wonderful things that came out of it. It was a joy for me, for one thing, to jump into a character very different than myself, an older woman, and then my having to do the research that I needed to do for her and learn how to get out of God's way so that He could use me in this film the way He wanted me, the way He wanted to. And it opened quite a few doors because it was, even though it wasn't a lead role, it turned out being a lead role.
Well, yeah, because your character alone, Miss Clara, it ended up really being the power in that whole film. I mean, if someone asks, who are the actors in War Room, you're the one they think of the most, and
Mm.
you had a very strong impact. And I've also understand that your role in War Room impacted a lot of people's prayer life. Have What kind of stories have you heard on your end about that?
Yes, my goodness. Mine for one, because before War Room, I thought that I was quite a little prayer warrior. But I realized in researching and, like I said earlier, getting out of God's way, that I had only been scratching the surface in my prayer. And it was the same for a lot of people I have found out and still finding out. And yeah, it took people into their prayer closets, back on their knees. So, what an honor to be part of getting people's relationships deeper, wider, higher with God. An honor, Doctor.
Oh, well, do you find it absolutely amazing? And I even find it a little bit miraculous that a role such as that um, changed lives. I mean, God used that role, and you had such a strong anointing upon your acting. I mean, what was it like for you when you were in the Miss Clara persona?
It hard to explain, but I was trusting, more trusting than I had ever been, every step of the way, for every word that would come out. And, you know,
Well,
I grew.
were fans
Yeah.
amazed to find out that you were not 80 years old?
Yes, actually, yes. As a matter of fact, I was invited to speak somewhere, the middle of the country, and the women's organization told me how they prayed and prayed and prayed that I could travel well. And they
Well,
were
what
waiting
was
for me to come when I was, already there. Like, no, I'm, I'm Karen. I am Miss Clara. I'm here. So yeah,
so
yeah,
they were amazed when they first saw you. They're like, "Whoa, she's a
yeah,
lot younger than 80."
yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, that is so amazing, and I want to talk about your brand new movie, Heaven Sent. I've had the opportunity to watch the film from start to finish, and you starred in the film. You also wrote and produced it. Where did the
Mhm.
inspiration behind this film come from?
Well, different people that would ask me to pray for them uh, would be asking for prayer for their romantic uh, lives, for mates or women who have lost their husbands or through divorce or death, or even younger couples or younger singles, asking me to pray for God to send them the right one. And then again, I do know that there are a lot of grandparents, due to one reason or, not, or another, raising their grandchildren. So I thought it was important to touch on that as well. And, hopefully encourage them that it doesn't have to be all over, even though at this time of your life, you imagine, sailing down the Nile River, or, just retired completely and just coming and going as you wish. So, yeah, just wanted to bring some hope in that respect as well.
Well, one of the aspects that I absolutely loved about the film is that, today people don't really seem to date anymore. Um, I myself may sound a little old fashioned to some in the world of swipe right and quick
Oh,
hookups, but
yeah.
your film really brought back the slow and easy of allowing a relationship to grow. Was this done on purpose?
It was. It was. I just can't believe that you can look at a picture on the other side of a camera and be really able to sense that individual on the other side.
Well, you had three, and if I remember correctly, I counted three different storylines in
Yes.
this film. I love the way that you intersected those storylines, and especially with the two teens. I really
Mhm.
like the fact that you just didn't put the young man who is, wow, I was blown away by his acting in this film.
He's amazing, Jamarcus Kilgore. I met him. I was teaching drama down in Atlanta, and at this point, I was making my first movie, and could not find the young male character that I needed. And as soon as he walked into that first rehearsal, I was like, "Thank you, Lord, here he is." And so I enjoy working with him. He's brilliant and
Yeah,
a good
yeah, and I
human
loved
being.
his acting, but I loved the storyline between him and the young lady. And I liked the fact that you started off that storyline with a bit of a mystery.
Mm.
We couldn't see all of her face,
Uh-huh.
and I really miss that in films. Even today when we see movie trailers, the whole movie trailer blows the whole movie apart. And by the time you see the trailer, you're like, well, why do I need to see the movie? I already know what's going to happen.
That's true, doctor. And not only do you get the whole story, but you get a whole lot of everything. I'm like, oh, come on.
Well, and I like the mystery part because, in a way, it fits the role or it fits the storylines of dating. You know, we're not going to know everything about that person on the first date. And if it goes well, we get to ask for a second one. But I
Yes.
like the way that you really worked the two young people. And you also had the storyline of a young married couple kind of going through a little bit of a rough patch, and
Mm-hmm.
which was in for the husband. very comical in his acting and his actions, and I think for a lot of us guys, we can kind of relate to some of that.
Good, good.
Yeah, and it was really funny because here he is trying, he's thinking that he's giving, giving, giving in the marriage, and she's thinking something else. But
Yes.
all he really wanted was to hear the words, I
I
love you.
love
And I
you.
was like, and the way that you kind of string us viewers along. I love the way you kind of took us down this different road trip with each storyline. And was it hard? I mean, for you, who is an actress, you're a writer, you're a producer, how do you focus on getting multiple storylines to intersect and then really just come to the finish line together?
Well, I've been given an incredible blessing. I've got a writing partner who that is all she does. She is absolutely brilliant. And so, working together with her, we can just come together and shoot ideas and whatnot, and then I can be comfortable in knowing that however it turns out, we're going to get to that place we were trying to when we set out. So yeah, Tara Lynn Marcel, brilliant.
Well, how long did it take you to film the movie?
19 days.
Yeah, that's pretty much average nowadays. We had a discussion, me and some other colleagues, about film, and a lot of people don't realize that many films usually are used to take 6 months upwards to a year to
Yes.
film, and now because people are craving content, we're
Uh,
seeing full length movies being filmed within 2 weeks to 3 weeks and usually no more than 30 days. And it's
I'll, I'll,
shocking.
I'll tell you, I was shocked. I was in Arizona last week working on a project. They shot the entire project in 11 days. I was like, what? What? So, oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
shocking.
it is. And I recently I had interviewed two film directors who co-directed a short film. It was only
Uh-huh.
17 minutes long. They just won the Oscar for their short film.
Isn't that
But what
something?
was even shocking to me was it only took them 2 days to film it.
Isn't that something? Yes,
And
yes.
I think if you have the vision, and and I understand, film budgets, that dictates usually about how
Oh,
long
yes.
you've got
Oh,
to film. But ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you this: regardless how long it takes to film, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and you need to really appreciate all of that hard work. But Karen, I want to ask you more about On Heaven Sent. What
yes.
are some of the key messages in the film that you wanted to make sure that it would leave an impact on the viewer?
I would say that you're never too old to find love. And even though, say, you have gone through the death of your love, your partner, your one and only, there can be another one out there if you're willing to open up and take a chance.
Yeah,
And yeah, yeah, and for grandparents that are raising their grandchildren, it doesn't have to be the end of the earth. It can be difficult, but there can be some beautiful light at the end of that tunnel, and you also feel good because you stepped up and you stepped out to do your part, to do what you could do. So a lot of hopefully good.
well, yeah, because what I noticed about the pastor in the film,
Yeah.
he lost his wife, he's a widower, and I really like the fact that you kind of threw a wrench in the whole dating scene between him and your character. And you really kind of showed a true life situation that I'm sure many people go through, especially widowers, where
Mm,
they finally want to step out and getting to the dating scene again slowly. But
Mm-hmm.
then there's the in-laws on that
Oh,
other side that still embrace you as family, but they don't want their
you.
loved one to be forgotten. And you wrote it in a very beautiful way.
Mm. Well, thank you. I know people personally who the in-laws they've actually gotten angry with them for moving on. So it's sad, but the way we did it, everybody comes to terms with, okay, this is me, this is my life right now, and we can all move forward together, and it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's very okay. And even within that coupling in the movie, and especially with your character, you yourself, no, I was, you were raising a grandson in that.
Yes.
Okay. And what I liked about that storyline was, is you skipped a generation. So we have two generations on a very wide spectrum. You know,
Mm,
your character, older, full of wisdom, but in a way content in their own life, in their
mm.
comfort zone, and and proud of it. And then you have Charlene Tilton comes in who kind of disrupts that.
Isn't she delightful?
Oh, Charlene's
Wasn't she
fantastic.
wonderful?
Yes, and she played that character absolutely perfect.
Yes,
Uh,
she did.
Funny as can be, but I love the way that she dragged your character into the dating scene. I'm not going to give everything away because, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to watch this film, Heaven Sent, because and I have to tell you, Karen, that I love the fact that you brought back a romantic storyline back to film because we're living in a world right now of sci-fi, superhero movies, and the romantic storylines have seemed like they've all disappeared. And I've
Mm,
been talking to friends of mine and others about film and the movies, and everybody's like, where did all the romantic comedies go?
mm.
We love those types of things because, you can learn a lot, but laugh a lot too.
Yeah. Good. Good. I'm glad.
And and with your some of the things when I was watching your film, and especially with the relationships, I saw misunderstandings, I saw
Mm,
lack of listening,
mm,
taking someone for granted,
mm,
mistrust,
mm-hmm.
jealousy, invasion of privacy,
Oh
which
my
I
goodness.
thought the way that you did that was brilliant because a lot of people today, especially young people, they think everything needs to be
Out.
recorded and filmed and
Right.
not realizing what is the other person going to think when they
Mm.
find out. But you wrote that. I mean, that was stellar writing right there.
Oh, doctor.
I mean, you
Thank
thought
you.
of every little nuance when it came to a relationship. And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to relate to this film because for those of us who are married like I am, those of you who are widowers, those of you who maybe you're scared to death of getting back into the dating scene, this is a film that kind of leads you in the right direction, is what I'm going to say. And in a way, I think the title of the movie is perfect. Heaven Sent. For a lot of people who are going to be watching it, it's going to be heaven sent to help them in their own life. And great film, Karen.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, I do want to ask you this, though, because I found that the faith based content to be very subtle compared to other faith based films. Was this your intention to possibly reach a wider audience?
Absolutely. Because some people automatically, when there's a faith message, they turn off or turn literally the instrument they're watching entertainment on off and walk away. So yeah, and my hope is that the day will come where entertainment is always positive and good, and it doesn't have to be, oh, this is faith, but that would be the norm. Kind, good, hopeful, all of those things, you know?
Yes, it's funny that you say that because I've been talking to quite a few film directors,
Hmm.
some in the mainstream Hollywood scene, others who really focus on faith-based films, some that are, like you said, they are so faith-based that you literally know right off, and most people may just pass them by.
Yes.
Where others that I've talked to have the exact same vision you have. Make an amazing film. You can still put in the positive message that will minister to people without
Hmm.
hammering them over the head.
Thank you. Yes.
Because if film is the thing about film is that it's for me it's two things. One, it should be entertaining,
Uh-huh.
and the second, it should reach us either at the heart level or
Mm.
maybe at the intellectual level, depending on the storyline. And I think the subtle way is the way to go. I mean, what did Jesus say? The harvest is great and the workers are few, and the
Mm-hmm.
harvest is all outside the church walls.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, you have an incredible resume in film and television. And for someone like you who has been well, you've been in front of the camera on both sides. So, how for you, how do you balance a film career in mainstream Hollywood and that of faith based films?
You have to turn down a lot of stuff. Opportunities come to work with uh, the big headliners, all the time. But many times you don't get the opportunity to read the script, and so you have to like, well, what was the language like in the last movie that they did, or whatever. So you have to be so careful. So you have to turn things away. Even when you need a job, you want a job, but you just have to pray and turn it away and trust that something else will come better. It's just what it is. Or
Ye-
create stuff, doctor. So we create stuff.
Well, and that's what you do. You create. And ladies and gentlemen, there's something here I want you to see, because and you need to take a good look at Karen and what she just said. We have something that lacks in our society today. Maybe two things. One, character, and integrity. And Karen, for
Mhm.
you to turn down certain roles when who knows, they may put you on a whole nother level in your career.
Mhm.
It comes
Mhm.
down to integrity, and at the same time, I think God honors those that honor Him, even in their choices. I think the best film that really signifies that type of integrity is when we go back, and you and I know this film. And for those of you who are on the young side, you need to go rent this film, and that's Chariots of Fire.
Oh my goodness, yes.
The main character had to make a decision. I'm sorry, but I don't run on Sundays. That's
Yes,
the Lord's
yes.
day. And to think about being an Olympic runner and turn down your opportunity because it's on a Sunday.
Mm. And with you saying that, every time I drive past a Chick-fil-A on a Sunday, I remember when they first started and all of the hoopla la, but they won't be open Sunday, ba 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 ba. They're doing quite well. God is blessing them above and beyond. And a lot of the people that were blah, 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 they're in line waiting for those waffle fries and the other stuff as well. So, He will honor that. And I have to tell you, doctor, sometimes it's hard to turn the stuff down.
Oh,
But
I can't even imagine what it would be like to have to turn down a role that you would love to do, and also even knowing who the other actors are that you're like, oh, I want to work with them, but then the
yep.
character they want you to portray is something
Mhm.
that
Yep.
you just know is not going to be pleasing
Right.
in the Lord's eyes.
Right, right, right.
And it's funny that you brought up Chick-fil-A because you and I probably remember the words. Most people don't today. Do you remember the term blue law?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay. See, what was funny is I was born in Atlanta. My grandparents have always lived in Atlanta, and when I would go visit them, my grandfather, he was when he found out that they were going to get rid of the blue law. And ladies and gentlemen, what a blue law means is that means when the blue law was in effect, nobody worked on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday was the day off for
Yeah.
everybody, and everything was closed. I think the only thing that probably wasn't closed was the emergency room at the
Right, the
hospital.
hospital. Mm-hmm.
You know, and but then when they took it away, he was just his whole countenance would change, and he's like, "This is the death of society," right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And even though some people didn't really think about it, but what did you do on Sunday when nobody worked? Everybody went
Right.
to church.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
you so to me, yeah, Chick-fil-A is extremely blessed because
Yeah.
hey, you got
Yeah.
6 days. The Lord said you got 6 days to work. Take the seventh day off in honor of me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, where can all of my viewers watch Heaven Sent and get a copy?
Well, actually, they can watch Heaven Sent on PureFlix streaming platform. And on the 9th, they'll be able to get a copy, a DVD at Walmart. So, yeah, very excited about that. Ah,
Well, I have already talked to some of my friends who have watched Heaven Sent, and Karen, I will tell you this: they come with rave reviews. They absolutely love the film, and I told them, I said, "Well, keep telling everybody else about it
yes,
because we
yes.
need more films like this." Now, I have to ask you this because I did a little bit of searching,
Uh-huh.
and for many of my viewers out there, and for many of you who know that I interview great celebrities like Karen here, many of you don't realize that I actually have a doctorate degree in nutrition. And Karen, I see that you are an advocate for natural health and well being. When did you get interested in wellness?
It's been a long time coming, doctor, a long time coming. And I just decided to uh, step out with it. And hopefully, I can encourage people to do better. I mean, this is the temple. And so we can do better um, in life across the board if we just take care of ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I noticed in your movie Heaven Sent, I noticed your shop called in the film is called Moxie, but I
Hmm.
also noticed the logo on the front counter and I went, that's her website. And I thought, no, that's brilliant product placement.
Yes. Oh, you're funny.
I have a keen eye. When I watch a lot of these movies for interviews, there's a lot of things that I have to watch that maybe most people will never catch. But because I do my research well, and
I see.
now, uh, what will people find if now? What is your website called?
Well, it's KarenAbercrombie.com, but one of the pages they'll be able to follow me with that living simply, naturally, and well. And I've also got a YouTube channel, Karen Abercrombie, where I am actively taping myself hiking, kayaking, cooking, gardening, all of those things, and hopefully, those things will bring people along or they want to join that living simply, naturally, and well journey with me.
Well,
And who
I,
knows?
I
Maybe
love the
I will
fact
reach
that you
out.
put it in the movie.
Huh?
I love the fact that you put it in the movie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Because and it's a great message. I mean, not only like you said, like we were talking about how your film has this a very subtle faith-based message to it, but there's another little message. Of course, I picked up on it very, very quickly, and then I was wondering, do you actually have a store like that?
I don't have a store, but I do sell the soaps that I make. I've been making soap for my family, soaps and lotions for about 20 plus years. I had a farm in upstate New York for a long time. Hmm.
And you sell those soaps?
I do.
Well, I for one is about to be a customer. you know.
Okay, Inspector Clouseau.
Yeah, absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, Heaven Sent, it's a great film. It's a feel-good film. It's a bit of a romantic comedy and something that for all of us that are in relationships, marriage, some of you may be dating, some of you maybe haven't tipped your toe back into the water, and maybe you need to. And I think the other message there, Karen, of your film is that the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind, and
Mm.
maybe push some people a little bit to become social again. And
Hmm.
ladies and gentlemen, the dating scene. Take it slow, take it easy. There's no reason to swipe right or swipe up, you know. And if you're not sure what to do, the Lord will always guide and direct you in the right direction
Yeah.
and to the right person if you keep your
Yeah.
eyes open as well as your ears and
Your
as well as
heart.
your heart. There you go, Karen. See, we're on the same page here.
We are.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on to the program and sharing with us your great film, Heaven Sent. And Heaven Sent, I'm almost wondering if you should change the spelling to Scent.
Cent.
Hey, that's a good name for a soap.
It
Heaven
is.
Sent. I
Oh,
like that.
oh, if I were closer, I would hug you. I'm going to jump on that. I'm telling you.
You jump on that, and I will be the first in line to buy the bar of Heaven Sent. But for
Okay,
you,
you
ladies,
got it. I'll make it with you in mind, Doc.
hey, I appreciate that. And again, ladies and gentlemen, check out the film Heaven Sent. It's on streaming. You can go to Walmart, buy the DVD, share it with family and friends. Again, it's another great movie you can add to your list. And again, Karen Abercrombie, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned because coming up next is our musical guest. We'll be right back.
No energy? Always fatigued? Has your got up and go got up and went? Primrose Leaf's Pro Max 365 helps to produce natural energy, increase endurance and stamina, improve performance during exercise, reduce pain from fibromyalgia, and is excellent for cardiovascular support. A doctor-designed, deliciously berry-flavored formula that's great for ages 18 to 99. Order Pro Max 365 and get the natural energy you've always wanted. Call 844-376-0007. Refuel daily with Pro Max 365 and get your life back.